Started off with a bit, now I got coin. I see where y'all going. Been poppin' since Web 1, hella hoes on Web 2. I was living a dream, now I'm on Web 3. And it is what it seems, topping the pyramid schemes, I'm telling you. I'll sell you a percentage on Nebula. Shout out to Vince, yo, set it up.
Surfing on the web and I'm shooting at 3. I've been goated when I got my G. I'm an alien boy from a different planet, yeah. So I got my drink, I'm riding in the 1920s Model T Ford. Call her Era Lord. Call me Levi, playing on the keys, boy. And I'm about to put my gloves on. If I said it, then I meant that. Yeah, I like that one, I'm about to get that. Crash that whip for the drumsticks, whiplash. I'm about to get them all. Are you with that? In a white boat, surrounded by blue. I want one, but I got a cop too. I wanna fly high in the sky, arms out wide, trying to soar from a bird's eye view. I'm on fire, Ricky, Bobby, cracking the pavement, Whitney, Bobby. I'm a Saki bomb, Hiroshima, Nagasaki. Bruce Wayne been a dog, and I keep it 101, cause I'm feeling kinda spotty. You sipping on some rock, and I'm sipping on octane. The only thing around my neck is the
Started off with a
blockchain.
bit, now I got coin. I see where y'all going. Been poppin' since Web 1, hella hoes on Web 2. I was living a dream, now I'm on Web 3. And it is what it seems, topping the pyramid schemes, I'm telling you. I'll sell you a percentage on Nebula. Shout out to Vince, yo, set it up.
NFT, Twitter, blockchain. Seeing with the ghosts and we ballin' like LeBron James. Crypto. We can make a trade, get the memo. But feels not falling for the FOMO. Listening to coffee with Captain. You know we worldwide, they loco. I ain't never gonna stop rapping. Orlando, yeah, we working magic. We rocking Ethereum entities. I just went and caught me a half base. Man, I got a shout out
Started
to
off with a
Borders.
bit, now I got coin. I see where y'all going. Been poppin' since Web 1, hella hoes on Web 2. I was living a dream, now I'm on Web 3. And it is what it seems, topping the pyramid schemes, I'm telling you. I'll sell you a percentage on Nebula. Shout out to Vince, yo, set it up.
Freaking the mood to choose one, but they got knowledge to move, son. I'm shocking in shades with my brother in suits, yeah, them blues is coming. Even though it's hard to pick, eeny, mighty, mo, soda on the mix, no biting lips, it's time to go. Index number 1, no thumbs up, you gotta scroll. Looking at the ghost in studio, it's time to go. Had a helmet on by myself until I met a mask that wanted to have a face off. So I had to bring my chainsaw, full tank of gas in the drive with my brakes off. I'm A1, but a different kind of steak sauce.
GM, welcome to Coffee with Captain. I'm Cap, and it is a free-for-all Friday. Some of our funnest shows. Who knows what we get into today? I have some agenda, talking points, some bullet points, some news, as per the title. Actually, I haven't updated it on X yet, but updated that in a second. There was a recent Polymarket exploit, seems to be under control, but we will circle back and at least fly over that. More so than the Polymarket exploit itself, might end up leading us down a deeper conversation on smart contract, protocol risk, DeFi exploits, etc. I had a conversation yesterday. I mentioned that show hosted with Concordium. Really enjoyed it. The founder was really impressive. Hard to not get excited hearing him talk. And just this thought of, is crypto in a tough spot with these exploit after exploit after exploit? And I think the scary thing, at least to me, as an active participant, as a user, is while this isn't new for crypto, there's been big exploits previously. And, when I came into the space as an active participant in 21, there was this fear of getting hacked as an individual. You're getting whether your keys or you hit a phishing link, and that was drilled into me. And something that, while anything can happen, I feel like I'm in control of that, right? Like if I were to click a phishing link, that's on me. It's my fault. If I take a screenshot of my private keys and then someone gets access to my iCloud, that's on me. Like that's all stuff that it's a me problem. It's not a crypto problem. It's a me problem, just as if I click a phishing link in my text messages and someone ends up getting access to my credit card or bank account, that's a me problem. It's not a banking problem. I think now, at least from my perspective and feelings, it's more on like outside of my control. and the concern of like where I've been, I never have any, 100% of my portfolio in one smart contract or one vault or one protocol. And, but I guess I feel more of there's just this cloud hanging over us of like, oh man, what could be next? I haven't seen the full, post-mortem yet on this polymarket exploit, but we will hit on that a little bit. At least again, high level, it's not the most exciting thing. Don't need to do a deep dive necessarily, but we'll at least fly over it. MegaETH with a pivot yesterday, sunsetting their terminal, their questing points, loyalty rewards program, whatever you want to call it. We'll talk through that and what is next. Already had my arepas today. Yes, Diego. It was kind of the standard. I mean, not basic, but just the standard basic arepa. Very good, better than any restaurant version I've ever had, and with some mozzarella cheese and egg. I do scrambled egg with a little bit of tomato in mine, along with Duke. Did not take some pictures, but I can get back to the taking pictures with Duke and his breakfast. Diego says the $16 are safe in Polymarket. It was also interesting. It looked like that Polygon, the Polygon token was what was being exploited, not necessarily USDC. I don't know what that means, but and in breaking news, she is absolutely a cheat code. I'm really excited because my family's visiting this weekend, and my brother is a really good chef, really good cook. Like he has, and he still does some catering every once in a while, but at one point he had a food truck, and he's won barbecue competitions. Like he's very talented, and he took a lot of inspiration. Well, his career path, and it's not, he's an engineer by trade. His day job, he builds roads. But his passion, his hobby, his side hustle, if you will, has been, the catering, the food truck. And he took a lot of that inspiration from a trip when he was like I don't know exactly, somewhere between 18 and 20. He did a 2-week mission trip in Venezuela and got turned on to all their food, their burgers, their arepas. And for as talented as a chef he's never been able to nail arepas. And so I'm excited to get them both in the kitchen and get basically spoiled by really good food this weekend. But also I think they will hit it off, as they both have both very talented in that regard. Looking forward to a fun weekend. Daughter graduates on Sunday. She's been out of school. We had the graduation party last weekend, but it still hits different to think she's actually going to be walking across stage, getting the diploma, and truly entering that next chapter. So she graduates on Sunday, and then has taken a senior trip. Her and I don't know how many friends it ended up being, like somewhere between like 12 to 18 friends, rented a beach house, and she leaves Tuesday for that. So going to be a fun week, fun weekend. I may up in the air. So Monday's show should be normal. It is Memorial Day. I'm curious if anyone else has any Memorial Day plans. Speaking of what I also am curious of, if anyone has any more plans, is this list floating around. I'll pin mine up top. Introduce yourself by listing 10 live shows you've attended. I'm going to pin my list up top, and I'm genuinely curious. I think it's interesting to see. I've seen some pretty incredible lists. A little bit of I'm not a jealous or envious person, but some that I was like, yeah, that's a must see, or that's one I wish I would have seen when they were still alive or still touring. Let me go grab that. I'll pin it up top, and I'll land the plane here with my other weekend thoughts. As it is a Friday, and if you're new here, we do run this show every Monday through Friday at 8 a.m. Eastern time. Often, trending topics, news of the day for the first hour. Then you typically will have a special guest. Usually at 9 o'clock hour. Fridays, more of a variety show. If you will still hit on the market and cover these headlines as I mentioned. But I am. We may spend, if Outer was with us today, we might spend the entire show talking about best live acts you've attended. So I just pinned mine up top if you've not yet seen that list floating around. Oh shoot, I don't know why. I thought I I thought I had shared the Spaces link, but it's not up there. So let me go reshare a Spaces link. That's pinned up top. In addition to here live on X audio, the X video feed is also live. We're streaming there as well as YouTube and Abstract. Not my best start this morning. One of these days I'll get a perfect show, but it's definitely not going to be today. So Spaces link is up there. YouTube link is up there. GM to our Abstract GMers, Teacher Katie, Jolly Elf, appreciate you both. GM to the YouTuber Diablito I've been chatting with already. Or excuse me, Diego I've been chatting with already. I was reading Diablito's name or Diablo's name over there. Red Rad Reviews, Von Frunton, Helpful Soul, Machiavelli, Absolute Zero, Block Mage. Appreciate you all. And yeah, we are live in all those spots. And then Abstract is hitting up top here momentarily. But it's also Friday, so if you've not yet subscribed to the Coffee with Captain newsletter, that QR code will take you there. Drop your email. We won't spam you. You would just get one a week, maybe moving to one a month. Still TBD on that, but probably go to the once a month newsletter. And something's going on with Joey. Said he couldn't share it all to the Jumbotron yesterday. I've got, it's definitely working because some are up there, but I've shared a couple others that are just not going to the top. So not sure, but now finally do have Abstract, YouTube, the audio spaces, and I will put up the video spaces as well. And we are, we're all the morning check boxes are checked in terms of getting this show started. Just took me 12 minutes to stumble through all that today, but appreciate y'all being here. And let me know who you're now the 10 live concerts or 10 live shows. Doesn't have to be a concert necessarily, but the 10 live shows are all the way to the right up top. I'll pull mine up here in a sec. Oh, that's why Abstract goes. I didn't finish it and actually hit send. Talking to myself. I'll stop that. The concerts. Let's go there, and I'll come back to this weekend and some fun stuff. But yeah, after graduation Tuesday, I'm going to go fishing. So weather is throwing us a little bit of a curveball. Not exactly sure the time. Probably after the show. Probably just going to do a shorter bridge show, maybe audio only. There's a chance I have someone fill in because we got to keep the streak alive. But Monday should be normal. Tuesday might be a shorter, maybe audio only show, and then back to normal on Wednesday. But looking forward to spending some time with the family this weekend, and it'll be my first time family meeting the girlfriend. So excited about that. Cautiously optimistic, maybe. I don't know. I'm not really. I'm actually genuinely excited on all fronts. This is my list. So and I've been to more than just this, but this were the first 10 that came to mind that were like memorable. Most of them in a good way. The only one I would say that was memorable as far as like how much of a letdown it was the Drake show. I saw Drake in Vegas at XS, which is the club at the Wynn, and he was fine, except for the fact that he didn't come on until 3:45 in the morning. They have an opener, like a house DJ that played, and the guy just kept looping. Like he had to be exhausted because I think he was supposed to maybe go for an hour. I don't know. I have no idea what happened. Maybe it was planned the whole time, but like doors open at, I don't even know, 8:00. And you think Drake might come on 11, maybe midnight, 3:45 in the morning. My buddy who I was with was a huge Drake fan. He called it. We were out there for CES week. So long week. He called it and was like, I can't do this anymore. He left at like 3:15, maybe 3:30. And then shortly after he left, Drake comes on. But yeah, Drake comes on at 3:45 in the morning and only played a 15-minute set. It was like a real life rug to make people wait for that long till 3:45. And 3:45 in the morning Vegas time is like 6:45 in the morning for me. So for someone who, at the time I wasn't getting up at 4 like I am now, but was still waking up most days like between 5 and 6. So to due to the 24-hour day like that, not optimal. But other than the Drake show that was a letdown or disappointing, memorable because it was so disappointing, The others are great memories. Dead Mouse at Lollapalooza 2011. I've shared this before on the show, but as he opened with some chords, and as he drops the beat the first time, as soon as he does, like it was programmed. The clouds open up, and it'd been like overcast, a little bit of rain throughout the day. As he synced up with him dropping the beat the first time, the clouds open up and it starts like a torrential downpour, and you got like 200,000 people just lost their minds in a good way. The energy was unmatched, and no one cared that we were drenched and mud puddles, and you see people like almost like OG Woodstock swimming in the mud. It was fun. It was very, very memorable, and instantly became a big Dead Mouse fan. Saw Dead Mouse at Marquee. I think Marquee was the club in New York after one of the, must have been NFT NYC 2022, maybe. It was a bull market because we spent, I don't know, like $5,000 on a table. And I don't even drink. So that's not something I do on a normal basis. It wasn't just me. I didn't spend $5,000, but there was like 10 of us that spent $5,000 on the table. And, people, I put it on my card, and then everyone else in our group was paying their portion. And I can't remember. It was like either one way or the other. Either everyone sent ETH except for one person, or everyone sent cash, and no one wanted to part ways with their ETH. But yeah, definitely bull market vibes. But that was a fun show. I've seen Dave over 20 times. I don't know the exact count, but a lot of 2-night shows. My guy Von Frunten. Some of my favorite Dave shows actually were in Noblesville, just north of Indianapolis. I think it's called Verizon Music Center now. But he'd play a 2-night show there, so he'd camp out, and a lot of good times there. Saratoga might have been the one of the better venues as far as camping. But yeah, enjoyed the 2-night shows, camping out, and good crowd for a jam band like Dave. Green Day or Everclear. I can't remember which one was first. I saw them both when I was 15, 16 in Newport Music Hall in Columbus, Ohio, small, intimate venue. And this was like the peak. I think Green Day dropped their Dookie album in 94, I believe. And there's a few thousand people in that venue. Same thing with number 8 on my list is the Snoop with Lil Bow Wow in 2001 was also at Newport Music Hall in Columbus. And so I enjoy like outdoor amphitheaters, like Grant Park in Chicago, which were Lollapaloozas. I've been there 2011, 2012, 14, 15, and 16. Or a small intimate venue like Newport Music Hall. The best venue that I've been to, without a doubt, it was Red Rocks. Saw Pretty Light at Red Rocks. I've seen another string band out there as well, but no one would probably be familiar with them. But Pretty Lights was an incredible show at Red Rocks. First concert I ever went to solo, and I think it was also the first concert I ever went to sober. Like I had stopped drinking earlier that year, and was in Denver for a layover, and I'd always wanted to go to Red Rocks. Like, you know what? I'm going to get a ticket and go to this show. I'd like Pretty Lights. I was like a huge Pretty Lights fan. Come to find out they're from Boulder. So it was like they played a 2-night show, and they were basically like locals, hometown, and incredible crowd. And Red Rocks, if you enjoy music, if you enjoy nature, that should be a bucket list item. It does not disappoint. A lot of times you hear like, oh, this is a bucket list item, and it ends up kind of being a letdown. Red Rocks is not that. Incredible venue. And in fact, it's one where anyone else I want to see, I'm going to attempt to see them there if there's ever the opportunity. Pearl Jam, saw them. Actually, they were the opener for that. It was at Buckeye Lake Amphitheater, which no longer exists. Counting Crows opened for Pearl Jam. Not two that you would maybe mix together from that era, or you wouldn't think would be playing together, but it was fun. It was, Counting Crows was like maybe not a one-hit wonder, but more like a one-album wonder. But yeah, it was a good show. And the Lollapaloozas were just all time. 2011, I think, was my favorite. Wasn't just the Dead Mouse show, but was there for their 20th anniversary and their 25th anniversary. Always a good time, but I think I probably aged out of most of the Lollapalooza acts. I'm sure there's some good ones in between, but and then last but not least, Ape Fest 21, 22, 23, and 25. I missed 24, but the others, 21 and 22 were like, the others were fine. Like last year was fine. I'm not like a big Kodak Black fan. 23 in Hong Kong was DJ Soda. Again, was fine, but Ape Fest 1 in the warehouse, that was core memory. Ape Fest 2 on the top of Pierce 17. Can't remember if it's 17 or 11. Pierce 17 was an all-time one. And yeah, drop your list. I see several others I've already shared. You don't have to quote tweet mine. You can drop yours in the comments or the comments of the space, or if you want to quote tweet it as well and play the copy pasta. Mel's Barney live front row. That's hilarious. Portugal the Man, JJ Gray, Warp Tours. I actually never made it to a Warp Tour, believe it or not. Icy Stars, Taylor Swift. I am not like a big Taylor Swift fan, but I think that's one. If I were to like, I'm not going to pay crazy amounts for tickets of someone I'm not really into her music, but if ever the opportunity to go, I would, because I just think that's obviously it's with you can't debate, like, she's one of the best entertainers, or at least most popular entertainers in the world. So I'd like to check that one off the list at some point. Chris Stapleton, Imagine Dragons, Dropkick Murphys, and Motley Crue. One that Chris Stapleton made me think of one that didn't make my list, but was also a cool concert. Was I saw Zach Brown Band. It was a 2 or 3 day concert or festival. But I saw Dave was one night, and then the other closing act was Zach Brown Band at Churchill Downs. Pretty cool venue. Mind blowing how big Churchill Downs is. So much bigger than you probably think just by seeing it on TV. But to give you an idea, there was 5 stages inside Churchill Downs. So it's one thing like Grant Park, a huge outdoor park. Churchill Downs, to think they can fit that many stages inside of a racetrack like that, it's much, much, much bigger than I had ever imagined. And but yeah, drop your top 10, or doesn't have to be your top 10 live acts. Some of the other ones here, we've got from Zonko in the chat, Plain White Tees, Aaron Lewis. I forgot about Plain White Tees. Delilah, was that one of their big hits? Am I thinking right? Earl Sweatshirt, Post Malone. It's all Post Malone at Lolla 1 year. Logic, same, as well as Kid Cudi. All were fun times, but I like EDC stuff. I've never been to an EDC either. I want to do an Ultra in Miami some year, probably an EDC, but Woodstock 94, that would have been great. One regret I have is not going to Woodstock 99. Was my senior year in high school, and my roommate, my freshman year in college, he went, and yeah, I wish I had done that one. Rolling Stones, Dave Matthews, Jimmy Buffett, B.B. King, Buddy Guy, AC/DC, Willie Nelson, Robert Plant. Live, I would have liked to see live. That's one I'd forgotten about as well, but Lightning Crashing for you kids, it's a good one to go hit up. We'll get to Joey here in a second. Just Mary says the Pixies, LCD Sound System, they were played one of those nights at Ape Fest 2. The Misfits, the Pharmacide, and Humpty Hump, Cypress Hill. I would like to see Cypress Hill. 9 Inch Nails, Downward Spiral Tour, Smashing Pumpkins, Pearl Jam, and Beck. Beck was one of those acts at the warehouse party for Ape Fest 1. Dwayne's List, They Might Be Giants, Blues Travelers, 50 times. Wow. Kiss 10 times. Foo Fighters. Actually, that story I told you about Deadmau5, I never even heard of Deadmau5 going into Lollapalooza that year. He, I guess, had just played like the MTV Music Awards, I think. And so he was having like his breakout in 2011. And, Lollapalooza, there's like 5, 6, 7 stages, but there's 2 main stages at each end of the park. And that's like the last, usually like the headliners, instead of having 5 bands going at once, there's just the 2 headliners at each end of the park. Well, it was Saturday night. I had planned to go watch Foo Fighters. Foo Fighters was playing at the other end, closing out the other end. So that's where we were planning to go. But then the act right before Foo Fighters and Deadmau5 on the Deadmau5 side was Nas, maybe. I should remember this. Anyways, we're watching that one. Like, you know what? Let's hang out at this end. We'll watch Deadmau5 open, and then we'll walk down to Foo Fighters. And Deadmau5 just opened up so electric that didn't leave, and instantly became a Deadmau5 fan. But yeah, Foo Fighters, Prince, Bob Mould, Guns N' Roses, Pearl Jam, Tom Petty. Tom Petty is one that I wish I had seen. I did not make that one. BB King, SRV, and Weird Al. Some good lists there. And yeah, Tom Petty might be one that I didn't get in. So like some of those that fit kind of in that same bucket. One would be Billy Joel. I've never seen Billy Joel live. I feel like that's a, if I have the opportunity, I'd need to check that box just to say I did. And I've seen some of the other, like I saw a lot of like these legends who I might not go to a show standalone show by themselves. Saw at Lollapalooza, like Paul McCartney played a show, just guy rocked out, jammed for 3 hours. Kids just they can't do it like the OGs did. This was, I can find a year, 20. It doesn't matter. Joey, GM, what's on your list? You don't have to share all 10, but what's on your list of all time live shows?
Yeah, buddy. Yeah, I've been to a lot of live shows in my life. Most of them later on in life were EDM, having worked at a lot of festivals and nightclubs. Some ones that stick out from when I was younger was Dougie Fresh back in high school. I beatboxing has always been it's always been amazing to me. Like to listen to somebody who can do those things. Like if you grew up our age, you watched Police Academy, and you had the guy on Police Academy, right? Was that the name of the movie?
Mm-hmm.
Right. And I can't remember his name right now. But he was a beatboxer, and he, like, the things he would do in that movie were hilarious. So I was always like, really, beatboxing was always really cool. And I had a chance to see Dougie Fresh live, and just, I mean, what he could do as a pioneer of like beatboxing was incredible. I've seen Lenny Kravitz live, Dave Matthews, Jimmy Buffett. But later on in life, when I started working at like these festivals and clubs, to me, the artist was always just one aspect. So like I've seen them all. I've seen Avicii, which I'm so blessed.
Man, that's actually probably my number one of those. Like Tom Petty's up there, but if I had to pick one act that if I could rewind time and see play live, Avicii's probably number one.
Michael Jackson's my number one. I never got a chance to see him live. That's probably my number one is Michael Jackson. But
same. I'd probably go with Michael Jackson, Avicii, Tom Petty. That's my list right now. I'm sure there's others, but
yeah, I mean, there's anyone that's passed away that I never got to see Nirvana live. I never got to see Chester Bennington live. Like those type of people, like, but so for me, the artist was always just one aspect, having worked in like the EDM industry, because the venue typically has a lot to do with it, right? So like, for example, one year I went to EDC Vegas, and I got to watch, this is when Dash Berlin was like literally ruling the world in the EDM scene, and he was the closing DJ, which is the sunrise set, because EDC Vegas goes from like 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. So him on the main stage with the sun coming up behind him, like illuminate, like your world is like illuminating. Like when he starts DJing, it's like pitch black dark, and then by the time the set gets to the end, the sun has come up. It's like transitioning from like a different, like one world to another world. So like that was an incredible set because of that aspect. And then Cascade's another one in the EDM scene that's just absolutely incredible when it comes to like the energy and the vibes in the crowd. But yeah, I mean, I've seen Jimmy Buffett back in high school was great, because you and all your friends would get a party bus and you'd sit on the lawn at some amphitheater. One of you had a fake ID, so someone bought all the drinks. It was. But yeah, I think it's all, to me, the music is one thing, but I think like Red Rocks. I've never been to Red Rocks.
Yeah, you got to add it to your list. Anyone who enjoys music and shows, you gotta find a way. It's so good. It's worth just taking a trip, scheduling a vacation around a show you'd like to see at Red Rocks. Scheduling a Denver trip just for that. It's that good.
Yeah, like I can't imagine seeing anybody at Red Rocks is a bad show.
Yep, agreed.
Right.
Like I mentioned that I saw
like the Sphere. I've seen, like I had friends that went and saw oh man, I can't think of who it was. They did like it was like their anniversary thing, and they did it at the Sphere. He's the owner of the gym I go to, and he brought his son with him. They're an older band. Like, I can't imagine going to a show at the Sphere, like that venue, that experience. So I think there's certain places where it just adds so much to the mute, like on top of what the artist can produce.
Yep.
So Red Rocks is probably on the top of my list.
Yeah, I mentioned
I'd love to do a show at the Sphere.
I mentioned I saw a string band at Red Rocks who Punch Brothers, if anyone is into string bands. And it was good. Like, there was Mint Julep's one of their songs I put in my soundtrack. It might be like 2 songs that made it into my recurring Spotify playlist. But it was like, I had no idea who they were. I was just out there again in Denver, and a friend asked if I wanted to go. I'm like, sure, let's do it. And it was an incredible time, partially because it is such a amazing venue. Didn't mean to step on you there. Go ahead.
Oh no, I didn't do anything. I might have accidentally unmuted.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, there's I'm trying to think of other artists that like, I would have loved to see Amy Winehouse live. My taste in music is really like all over the place when it comes to stuff. So I just think there's a lot of really talented. Prince, I probably would have, like, I would have loved to see Prince live. Some of these, older stuff, it's tough. Like, Notorious B.I.G., that's one that I tried to get to a concert, never did. Tupac's another one I would have loved to see live, right? Like, there's just, again, I think the venue plays a lot into it too. Like, I've seen some of the best DJs in the world in like some nightclubs, and you're just like, yuck, because it doesn't have the same effect as, like, Eric Prydz is another one where, he's like, depending on what he's playing, but most of the time he needs like a big venue, lots of lasers, lots of lights, lots of screens, right, to get like the full effect of things. I've been to so many live shows, and I mean, it's incredible. Live music, there is no, I remember, I don't know if you remember, Cap, but like maybe 3 or 4 years ago, back when the metaverse was, everybody was metaverse, and people were like, yeah, man, we're gonna start, Marshmello did that thing inside of Fortnite, and people were like, this is the future. We're all gonna be wearing like 3D goggles, and we're gonna watch all of our DJs on these 3D goggles because it makes it easier for us to all to attend. And I would think to myself, as somebody who went to like all of these live shows, like, sitting in my house with goggles on just doesn't have the same effect.
Yeah.
As being there surrounded by like people. Like, I've literally been at shows where you can feel the ground shake because people are like jumping up and down and dancing. Like, I just don't think there's a substitute for that.
I agree. I see Bagel joined us. Bagel, we'll go to you if you want to get in here with your list. Marshmello concert would be good as well. I updated my list of those that have passed. I can no longer see. There's probably more, but Brooklyn State of Mind said Nirvana was on their list, and yes, I'd have to add Nirvana. My probably number one, Nirvana, then Michael Jackson, Avicii, Tupac, Tom Petty, Sublime with Bradley Nowell, the original, the OG. His son is actually headlining for them now, or frontmanning. They're frontman now, but probably not quite the same. It's so funny. Bagel, I will get you in here. I just have to share that. Actually, let me hold off. I will come back to the NFT Mint. We'll continue. We'll knock out these live shows. But I miss trading NFTs. The emotional roller coaster is very real, and I got reminded of it in the last 35 minutes.
I don't. After reflecting about what happened last night in the war room, talking about like the NFTs and ordinals I'm still holding,
yeah.
I don't miss it.
Yeah. Well, you got to get in, you got to get out. Here's a couple more before we go to Bagel.
I'm really bad at getting out. That's the part I'm not good at.
Same. Green Edge, The Killers, Tom Petty, Eric Clapton, B-52, Stevie Wonder, The Jonas Brothers, One Republic, Vampire Weekend. That's a good one. Bare Naked Ladies, Bob Dylan.
Knew somebody. What about? I would love to see Ella Langley live now.
Yeah,
she's killing it.
Yeah.
Like a new artist I would put on the list. Riley Green, another like new artist I would put on the list.
Coldplay. Maria has Coldplay ×3. Athens, Stanford, Wembley. I saw Coldplay at Lollapalooza one of those years, and it was an incredible live show. Him on the pianos, like it was really good, really good. Whether you like Coldplay or not, he was I know some people are like not the biggest Coldplay fans. It's not one I listen to on like repeat or regularly, but I do, I have and do enjoy the music, and the live show was 10x better than studio version. Where'd I go? Tiesto is one that I need to see as well. Bieber as well. I'm adding Bieber to my list. Jack Johnson, saw him in same place, Noblesville in Indy or Deer Creek. I agree with Von Front, and that's what it should remain forever. Rolling Stones, Jimmy Buffett, U2, Nine Inch Nails, and Prince. Many more. Good list, Maria. Odessa, I just saw. It was probably one of the most recent ones I saw. I saw them in St. Pete on the. Can't remember if they were on the pier or Vinoy Park. Anyways, they're on the water in St. Pete. Nine Inch Nails, David Bowie, Rolling Stones, Kanye, Wu-Tang, Metallica, U2 and the Horseshoe, Deftones and the Strokes, and then Diablito has all these Coachellas. Coachella's one that I've been to several Lollapaloozas. I've never made Coachella or Bonnaroo is the other multi-day festival that
Coachella doesn't excite me. Like after seeing like the fact that it just, I don't know, like I what it's turned into, I feel like doesn't excite me. I feel like it's just like an influencer festival. And maybe that's just because that's what Instagram feeds you, but I feel like it's just not one that excites me anymore.
Yeah, I hear you. I think I'd still be if there was an act, I wouldn't like go for the whole time, but if there was someone like I would and it's a travel for me. So someday. Red Hot Chili Peppers, also saw them at one of those Lollas. Great live show. I'm jealous of Big Mo's saw Biggie 5 times. That's adding that to my unfortunately deceased and could no longer see, but wish I had. Like Tupac and Biggie, while I was around and listening to them, I was pretty young. Like even getting my mom to let me go to like Everclear and Green Day concerts when I was 15, 16 was a stretch. I'm not sure if it would let me go to rap concerts back then, but such is life. This is okay. Let's do this. We lost Bagel. Bagel, if you want to get back up here, feel free to do so. Appreciate everyone who shared in the chat. We got Dwayne, so we'll let Dwayne get in on this, and then we will move into news of the day. And Wu-Tang before they launched 36 Chambers and an opening act. That's also some of my favorite stuff is when you find these, whether it's at a festival or it's an opener, before they make it or when they're making it. I saw Foster the People on a side stage at Lollapalooza that year, and the year prior they were playing in dive bars in front of like 12 people. And to go from that to break out and be a mega, their that Pumped Up Kicks album had just went viral and like months before Lollapalooza. And so when they had booked them, they put them on the side stage and just 100,000 plus people around the side stage. And you could just see and hear and how emotional they got. And like, you guys have no idea how much this means to us. Like it was just like that, witnessing them realize we've made it moment was pretty sweet. Dwayne, GM, welcome up. What's a couple on your all-time list?
All right, so I had my list, and I think I've dropped it in the comments down there and all, but there's definitely some that I realized after the fact that I missed, like the Ramones. Getting to see them live was amazing. Paul McCartney, obviously, I've seen him a couple of times, and it's great. But I can't recommend enough Red Rocks.
Yep.
It is just the ultimate. I mean, if you've never been there, go see anything there. If you're in town, it doesn't matter who's playing, just go see, because it's an experience.
Mm-hmm.
And it's probably the best place to ever see a show.
Yeah, I've never been to the Gorge. It's on my list, but at best it might be as good as Red Rocks. I can't imagine it being much better.
Yeah, and this summer I'm actually going to Hollywood Bowl to see a show.
Oh, that'll be fun.
Actually, Blues Traveler, so I'll add to my count there. So.
Number 59, huh?
something around there. I stopped counting at some point.
That's awesome. Bagel, I saw you made it back up. Sorry we lost you earlier, but yeah, did you want to get on this and share some of your top 10?
Yeah, so I'm really lucky. Like I'm only 28, but I've been to so many concerts. Well, I grew up in North Carolina, so I went to most of my concerts there. Saw Billy Joel there twice. But one that I totally forgot to put in my top 10 that I was really lucky to see was I actually did see Linkin Park with Chester Bennington quite a while ago, but I missed the opportunity to see him when he was playing with Stone Temple Pilots. And the reason why that's significant to me is because Stone Temple Pilots is my favorite band of all time, pretty much my favorite artist of all time. So I missed that opportunity, but Billy Joel was just phenomenal. I've seen Paul McCartney. I've been to a lot of rap shows, a lot of like underground shows and whatnot. So those were all really cool. And then I have seen Deadmau5 once. That was just amazing. I saw him at Marquee, New York. So that was great. But you know, live music is just great, man. Like I've got so many people and artists who I like pretty much forgot to leave out of my top 10. And I didn't even put it in order because, to be completely honest, like this Don Toliver concert coming up on Tuesday is the most excited I've been for a concert probably since Travis Scott, like a couple years ago at MSG. Like I'm looking forward to this more than any concert I've ever been to be completely honest.
Awesome, man. Well, enjoy. I have two things. I want to come back to Travis Scott before I do that. So you're only 28. How did you get turned on to Sublime?
So I actually, well, I want to be clear, that was Sublime with Rome. But
okay.
My boys and I just really like were listening to a lot of Sublime in high school. Like we're smokers, so of course we were going to start listening to Sublime. We dabbled quite a bit with just smoking different psychedelic shit like that. So we were really into that music. And so that was just a me thing. Like my dad obviously, like, you know, pretty much put me on to like Billy Joel as a kid. Bruce Springsteen, you know, a lot of these like tri-state kind of artists of the day. But Sublime was genuinely my own interest. And I've just been listening to them probably since early on in high school. Like, you know, I started high school back in like 2012. So it was really just a me thing, me and my friends. And I've just been, I've been listening to them every day since high school pretty much. So, and I'm very familiar with their discography. And then I went to a concert to see them at Jones Beach, but they weren't even the headliner because it was Sublime with Rome. The headliner was Incubus, and I'm a huge Incubus fan. I listen to a lot of alternative rock. So that was a great concert. Anybody who's ever coming up to New York, Long Island, those Jones Beach concerts are so much fun.
Very cool. Very cool. Appreciate you jumping up and sharing. Enjoy the one on Tuesday. And you said Travis Scott also saw one of those Lollapaloozas. And it was like during the era where like his shows were getting really rowdy, and they stopped the Lollapalooza concert, his set early. Like it got so violent, and it's not like, that's not really like the vibe of Lollapalooza. But it was, just the pit right in front of, and it was early because he was still playing on a sideshow. I'm sure now he would headline, but yeah, it was one of the few shows I've been to where they had to call the set and pulled him off stage early because it was getting too violent.
His music was like literally like his concerts at the time were literally inciting riots.
Yep.
Like I know I think he got arrested for the one in Arkansas.
Was it Arkansas? Or I was thinking, for some reason, I was thinking there was one in Houston where some people died.
Yeah, that was insane. Like there were people in the crowd kind of like overdosing, and he didn't even stop the show, and people were like screaming at him to stop. It was really loud. So it was a bit of a crazy time, but it was insane in New York. Like at MSG, I mean, that was just one hell of a show. It was well after that time of his kind of like the crazy shows. So it was really a good time, and I got to sit down and kind of enjoy it. I'm like a little, like I can't enjoy the pit the way I once did, so I don't get pit tickets to anything anymore. Between just, you know, working blue collar and going to so many concerts, I'm a little burnt out. So like I don't do any more pit stuff. It's too much. So I just sit down. I try to get seats like really close up wherever I go. But that was just incredible. I mean, MSG is obviously one of the best venues you could possibly go to for a concert. And I haven't been to Red Rocks either. That's very high up on my list. I've been to Colorado Colorado, but I didn't get to go to Red Rocks when I went. So that's really, really high up on my list. I'll go and see just about any show there at this point. So that's really high up on my list. But Travis Scott concerts are great. And then obviously Don Toliver is under Travis Scott's Cactus Jack Records label.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I mean, it's a very small list of people under his label. I think Sofago, kind of like a younger rapper, is one of them. So that's really, really cool. And I really like that guy. So Travis Scott's doing a really cool thing, kind of curating his own label. And I think he's doing a really good job. So, and Don Toliver has a pretty similar sound to Travis Scott in many regards in terms of production value, certain aspects of the lyricism. But this concert coming up on Tuesday is going to be great. So if anyone's there, link up with me, UBS Arena.
Very cool. I have you ever connected with Dow Jones?
With who?
Dow Jones.
I'm sorry, you cut out for a second. Who is that?
Dow Jones. Dow Jones is he rocks a orange pudgy penguin with a kimono. He's usually out here. He's here almost every day. I don't see him in the audience this morning.
Oh, I've definitely seen him in your show, but we haven't personally connected. He lives in the area.
Yeah, he's in that area and does a lot of shows and does some work.
He's in the business, doesn't he? Does he do lighting or sound, Tap, or both?
Man, I feel bad. I should know this. It's either lighting or sound, or might be like stage and just like venue production, venue setup. I should know, but I'm not certain. But yeah, he's in the business and does a lot of shows there. From Madison Square Garden. I'm sure he's been to the venue you were just mentioning. I'm looking because now you guys got me curious. I'm getting the itch. I do have one concert. You may guess. There'll probably be a. It's actually at. I'll say this. It's at Raymond James. So there might be a Arepa food truck in the parking lot. But I've got one concert that I've bought tickets to later this year that no one will probably guess. I mean, you might now that I've given a hint, but getting the itch to
Karol G.
Yeah. I do. I've got Karol G tickets for later this year. I'm looking Santana. I don't know many of these. Kesha I'm familiar with, but not necessarily someone going to go to Denver to go see. Trey in the Colorado Symphony. Trey Anastasio was the lead singer of Fish. That would be a fun one at Red Rocks, June 7th. Jimmy Eat World, that'd probably be a fun show. John Bellion is not bad, although again, not someone I'd take a trip to Denver for. Rod Stewart, OAR, that might be June 20th. Maybe I'll go catch an OAR show in Red Rocks. Weird Al, and I saw some people had Weird Al on their list. He's playing a Red Rock show this year. Widespread Panic, AJR, that'd be a good one to see at Red Rocks. I bet that'd be a good show, good live show. I saw them at Lollapalooza. They were pretty solid. Blues Traveler, for you Blues Travelers fans, July 4th show at Red Rocks for Blues Travelers. That might be one you have to put on the list, Wayne.
I've been 3 times for the July 4th show. So they've done it every year since like 94. They missed 1 year when their bass player died. But other than that, they've played like 30 years at on July 4th at Red Rocks.
Wow, I didn't know this.
It's booked for them any year they want it. It's theirs.
That's pretty cool. I wasn't aware.
Yeah, it's really cool. And what they used to do is they used to do 2 sets, one before fireworks started, and then they'd take a break and everyone would go up to the top of Red Rocks, and you could look around 360 degrees and see 40 different fireworks shows or whatever.
That's
and then
pretty
once
sweet.
that stopped, they'd start their second set or whatever. It was really cool, but they don't do that anymore.
I'm scanning ahead here because Von Frunten said October 30th. Oh, Deadmau5 at Red Rocks. Yeah, that might be I'm trying to think when I think my other Karol G concert's early October. But yeah, Deadmau5. I thought it was going to be when you got excited. I thought it was going to be Fred again.
Karol G?
Here in Tampa.
So I was right.
Yeah. Oh, I thought you heard me. Yeah, I agree.
I thought you were being sarcastic when I said Karol G.
No, you were right.
I honestly, that was a guess. I didn't look it up. I said Carol G because of the Venezuelan connection.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Yeah, that was my hint. I mean, she's Colombian, but yeah, the
oh, you're right. She is Colombian.
but yeah, still,
My bad.
no, it's all good. Still, we're fans. I said Zach Brown, Matt Rife. I don't know about a comedy show at Red Rocks, but it's a pretty robust list. I don't remember them having this many shows in recent years. At least I've looked across the people one I mentioned earlier. Yeah, I might do some concert ticket shopping and trip planning here later today. Now that I'm in the mood. But yeah, that October 30th Dead Mouse 2-night show at Red Rocks might be. It's getting circled on the calendar. I'm not making the full commitment yet, but of all the ones I've seen, that is probably. Although I've seen him before, that's probably top of my list of at least as far as the Red Rocks lineup goes this year. String Cheese Incident, that'd be a great show at Red Rocks, I bet. And
I've seen them at Electric Forest multiple times.
Yeah, I bet it'd be a good show out there. Cool. Awesome. Appreciate everyone sharing. Enjoyed the big fan of music almost as much as I'm a fan of crypto and NFTs. And it's like music, sports, and crypto. Those are my pillars right now. Mikey DLS, another Sublime fam, says Sublime forever. Brad's son, Jacob Newell, is really holding his own as the new frontman. I did some art for the show poster for Jacob and his old band, Law of Fusion. That's pretty cool. Congrats. Halloween is an awesome festival that happens during Halloween weekend every year at Live Oak, Florida, just outside Jacksonville. 4-day camping. Is Sublime playing there this year? Because I think I don't think it was Halloween because it wasn't Jacksonville. I think it was like north. I think it was on this coast, but north of maybe like an hour, 2 hours north of Tampa, if I remember. Maybe it is the same one. But there was another outdoor festival that I saw Sublime was headlining. I'm wondering if I'm confusing it. It's actually is near Jacksonville. But those are my favorite. Whether if not, I'm not going to go to like Red Rocks, some sort of outdoor festival. Even if I'm not one, like I don't really want to hang out in the woods for 4 days at this point in my life. But even if I'm not, doing the full 3-4 day festival, going for a day or two. Carol G is Colombian, is what I was saying. Depressive hacks. My girlfriend is Venezuelan, but Carol G is Colombian. But close, adjacent. Good stuff. Appreciate everyone sharing. Got me excited, and probably, this show's cost me money before, both in buying things that we talk about, and sometimes making bad trades live. But today, it's going to cost me some money for some entertainment in return. Let's do this. I alluded to NFTs. I sent the tweet earlier. I shared that I missed the emotional roller coaster because this morning, just before the show, I first sweep I've done in forever. And I sweep. I was 3 of them, mini sweep. But it was hilarious because I put in a WETH bid at 0.015, and then I bought 3 off the floor at 0.018, and then the show started, and I started getting excited because the floor was just going up and up and up. And it was like as we started the show, I bought them at 0.018 right before the show. Then it was up to like 0.0188. So like instantly gain. I'm like, oh, all right, I made a good buy. And then as the show continues, I see people bricking the floor, and then it dips down to 0.16. I think my WETH order is going to get filled. Now it's back up to 0.169. But just that, and it's 0.169, not 0.69. So we're talking like it went from, I don't know, $31 to like $35 down to $25. So we're not talking crazy amounts of money, but just seeing it's more about like being right on a trade than it is. I mean, don't get me wrong. I would take a big profitable flip, but I have no idea about this collection. All I know is art was decent, and it's pre-reveal. So doing it for the dopamine, looking for a let's hit a grail. There's 5 one-of-ones in the collection. Florida again now back up to 0.17 or 171. So it's heading the right direction. But what got me is I saw a lot of FUD on the timeline. I hadn't seen FUD around a new NFT mint for a while. Like legitimate, like people were upset, like not just copy pasta FUD, but people were like actually upset because they had made the guaranteed phase. They were on the guarantee list for the guaranteed phase of the mint. And apparently they over allocated the guaranteed portion. And a lot of people who had guaranteed did not get their guaranteed mint. So it didn't even make it to first come, first serve. It just is sold out during the guaranteed phase, and a lot of people didn't get their mint, and so they start fudding it. There could be some other, suspicious activity. I don't know. It's 27% unique owners, 1,200 holders on a collection of 4,444. A WETH bid just hit for 1.156, so mine might get filled. But it ran up. It was a 0.003 mint. It ran up to about, looks like peaked at like 0.02, and then it's kind of dipped down, and now is climbing back up. Yeah, peaked at like 0.2, dipped down to like, let me find a sale, 0.0069, and is now back up almost 3x from that to 0.0173. Don't ape into this because I'm sharing on the show. Again, this thing could be a rug for all I know. I don't think that to be the case, but I'm in it. So I think it's a $100 bet, $100 trade, and probably not something I'm looking to hold long term. I'm not looking to join any new NFT communities per se, but thought there could be an opportunity to get in on a short-term flip. And the art was like Ninja Turtle vibes. Here's some of the one-of-ones. Community artist, AI. All pieces will be included in the Shellmates collection. Each will receive royalties earned on their pieces, so that's cool. I like how they're doing that. Again, decent art. 4,400 collection. I didn't even read this. I probably should now, but a digital pet, 5 species of the pet trades, 2 commons, 2 rares, extremely rare. Oh, I didn't realize this. So you're going to be required to log into our pet portal daily to feed these pets and claim the daily points, all on chain. Daily points can vary based on how your pet is feeling. So it's like a Tamagotchi on chain. Not the first time we've seen this, but maybe there's some new mechanics. Some days your pets might feel sick and you get 25 points. Some days it's happy, you'll get 500. Points be spent on several different items inside your pet's tank, making your pet's home customizable, unique to its own. If you miss a daily login, you simply miss the points for that day, so it doesn't die. You miss out on your points. So driving daily activity, I do like that. And if you have multiples, you can feed all pets with 1 click. There are one-of-ones. Pet evolution has every holder has a set deadline of 60 days. In those 60 days, you must have 4,000 points to be eligible for the evolution, which is a free mint into the pet collection. The average daily feed earns you 100 points. I'm skimming here. Excuse me. I'll pin this up top if anyone is actually interested and wants to read further. Pufferfish, 20% rarity. What species of pets are there? So there's goldfish, clownfish, angelfish, pufferfish, and a shellmate. Every shellmate has 1. Okay, so after revealing, you will see a trait called pet type. So you've got your shellmate, and then you've got a pet type of one of these fish or another shellmate, another shell. I'm not exactly sure on that. It's every pet is paired with a shellmate NFT once connected to the pet portal. So some experimenting on chain, basically minted for $7 and it's trading around 30 now. And new traits. So it's nothing like world changing, but interactive project. And future vision is to build a brand, one that bridges Web 2 and Web 3. Just like Pudgy Penguins and Chimpers, our turtle character is cute, full of personality, character like vision on phone cases, plushies, cartoons, etc. Other big brands have shown it's possible. So like I said, this could be not. I don't think it's going to rug, but this could be 0 tomorrow. They could just fail to get out of the starting gates, and it could never take off. My bigger point is this: what I'm hoping to see is, wow, it's very very Tamaguchi-esque. I was missed Tamaguchi. I was a little older than like when the Tamaguchi phase hit, but yeah, very very much Tamaguchi vibes. Feeding your pet here. At least they don't die, which might even be cooler for some. They die and reducing supply. But my bigger point is I would love to see some new mints that, preferably a new playbook, not exactly like Pudgy Penguins or Apes or Chimpers, but a new playbook. Lean into some of the stuff that worked. These, as mentioned, there's some of these OG brands, these brands from 21, 22. They showed what's possible. Many of them also made a lot of mistakes. I think I'd like to see some new mints where it's good art, high quality, high effort. Lean into some of the stuff that's worked, some of the stuff that's possible. Could be, I mean, if you want to do toys and plushies, cool. But I want to see more experimenting on chain. I think that's what, there's such an opportunity to program against this tech and do more than just a static JPEG. I like how they're sharing royalties with the artists. Like there's a lot that can be done, and I want to see more new mints lean into the tech. You don't have to do everything brand new. I mean, some of the stuff that works, double down on that, but just put your new twist on it. Put the play with the tech, experiment with the tech. Last thought on music before I move on, because I saw Madonna twice. One of the Always Treasure, took her dad. I wanted to see her after seeing her perform at the Super Bowl. I saw Madonna in New York City as one of the utilities for holding an NFT. Held a man, I'm drawing a blank now. This is bad. A World of Women, and they I know the collection is not once where it was. I don't know what's going on. I know some leadership's leaving, and I saw some frustrations from the community. It's not one I stay close to or pay too much attention to. I really don't know. But what I do know is back in the day, they threw some incredible events. Like they hosted a small venue in New York, a Madonna concert. The year prior at Art Basel, they had maybe the best Web3 gala that we've seen. There's the one where Steve and he had the tie and I wore the matching bow tie. It reminds me of Boots. Our guy Boots was running around in, what was the costume? What was that costume? It's gonna drive me nuts. Boots was in I can't remember the name of the brand. Him and Emily Flex Swap? That's not it. I don't know. It doesn't matter. But yeah, he was walking around the whole time in like a superhero costume, where everyone else is dressed up for a gala. It's fun. It was fun times, and I fully understand that live events like that aren't sustainable just by themselves, but you can get sponsors. You shouldn't be burning treasuries on hosting live events or concerts and stuff like that. But when you build some momentum, you got a community, you have attention, you can get sponsors that at worst should be like a cost neutral proposition for you, if not a profit center. And I know not all. I know I'm looking forward to Ape Fest this year. I'm looking forward to, I mean, the wasn't a concert per se, but the Pudgy Party at Consensus was fun. We've gotten very far away, I feel, from alignment, utility, etc. I feel it's coming back. Not to be biased, but I do feel that Figgy and Yuga is bringing some of that back, and it might just happen to be that it's let's copy pasta Yuga once again for NFT season 2.0. but keep experimenting, do new stuff, take shots. One thing I do like about, not to shill this, it's not that deep. Please don't go buy this thing just because you saw me talking about it or you saw me mint a few, but it I think 4,400 is probably around the sweet spot. 4 to 5K. We don't need supplies of 10,000. Can you still mint out 10,000 and do fine? Yeah. But something like 4,000, 5,000, very low mint price, $5 to $10. This was 0.003, it's like $7. I think that's kind of the sweet spot. Now, I mean, do the math. If you have a $7 mint and you mint 4,000 of these, you're 28 grand, give or take. That's not going to fund too much. You're not going too far with that. Hopefully, they're on a new contract and royalties are protected, and they have other paths to generating revenue. I think, could you use an NFT? We were talking yesterday about, if you're building, you want to do a new venture, should you build in Web3 or in crypto or not? I do think you can use like an NFT mint as a launch pad, and meaning as far as like launching a brand, launching a community, bootstrapping some funds, but small amount. This isn't, you're not going to be like Proof or Azuki where you're minting 10,000 of something for 2.5 ETH. I just don't see that flying in 2026. It's not going to be like VFriends where you're going to sell these for thousands of dollars. This is like, you might bring in 20, 30, 50 grand maybe on mint. Now, if you build some momentum, I mean, Good Vibes Club has shown that you can generate serious royalties. They've made over $2 million in royalties in the last year since they minted. It's just, I think more so than bringing in 20, 30, $50,000 of sales off of mint. Will that help? Will that help you get out of the starting gates? Yeah, maybe. But the reality is, if it's high effort, you're probably not even at break even, or that may, you may pay your artist and cover your operating, your overhead to launch for that. It's more of like a way to bootstrap attention and a grassroots community. Now you need more than just the JPEG to build any sort of stickiness with said community. But in this case, there's 1,200 people that are holding this thing. Now, are all 1,200 excited about the brand and they're going to be part of a passionate community, or are they just there for a quick flip? Probably 50-50. I mean, probably not even. Maybe like 20, 30% are excited about the prospect of another, community or brand. And I'm guessing, the majority are probably looking for a short-term flip. But if you make the right moves and you start building some momentum, like that's more fans than you would probably get by launching this off-chain and just say, hey, here's this art I've been working on. I'm going to build a brand. We're going to do some games, some plushies. We're going to have this. You got to feed it. Like you're probably not. By the way, we're reading the Coffee with Captain Pumped in real time. Thank you all for pumping my bags. Now that we're back up to 0.192, I can dump my 3 that I swept for 0.018 and turn a little. I kid. I'm not dumping them, at least not right now. I'm not going to dump them on the show. I will sell these 3 most likely, or I should say, I'm going to sell at least 2 of these would be the goal. If it 3x, so here's because I know some of you weren't around during NFT Mania. So I'll give you a little like, here's my playbook. And it's not saying this is right or wrong, but it's one way to play NFT mints pre-reveal. If this now are 0.02, keep pumping, keep sweeping that floor. Coffee with Captain Pump is back. So I picked up 3 at 0.018. Again, we're talking small swings at the bat here, small dollars. If my goal would be pre-reveal. Actually, I don't think I would sell any pre-reveal because I like the grail chase. I like the pack rip. I like did I mint a grail? So I would not sell any pre-reveal. But let's say post-reveal, if the floor gets up to 0.054, 0.055, I would sell 1. The plan would be to sell 1 for 0.055, 0.06, and then I'm basically recovered my entire cost basis. And now I'm free rolling 2 of them. And then the plan would be the second one, I'm going to hold. And maybe I don't like the trades and don't resonate. Maybe I sell 1 and I pick up another one, but to get around something I like, or maybe a rare one, maybe at reveal, I'm looking to snipe a grail or one of one. But assuming I don't buy any more, it would be sell the first one at 0.055, 0.06, re-roll the next two. And then if it runs up, let's say it runs up to, I don't know, 0.25, 0.5, I'm selling the second one to have a nice gain on this trade. And then the third one I'll ride. The last one I will ride until it's multiple ETH, or it just goes to zero and it sits in my wallet forever. We're not like back, but if there is another NFT season 2, I'm like knocking off the rust, I guess. Gonna start watching, like you really can. I mean, you can really momentum trade in NFTs, pre-reveal, post-reveal. And I do genuinely miss, like I had a lot of fun. It wasn't just like I said, am I not making life-changing money off of I shouldn't say that. You could actually in this space. I'm not anticipating on making any life-changing money off of $100 of NFTs, but the game is fun. Like the pre-reveal game, reveal, and then just watching the chart, watching the momentum, knowing where to list, when to list, if it's free falling, when to dump into bids and get out before it goes to zero. But picking up a 3-pack so I can play the, let's flip one to free roll the other two. And then I've got 2 still to sell one more on a decent run up. And then you've got one for the, the Hail Mary in case it actually really cooks. Didn't realize I was sharing the calendar that whole time. I thought I was sharing the floor price screen. So you saw me point. Yeah, I had to do math. It's too early, multitasking. So I had to see what 0.018 was multiplied by 3. This is what I was looking at though. 0.02 now is the floor. And that one I had in it 0.0155, I don't think got filled, and probably won't. At least if it keeps trending up, it won't get filled. Again, do your own research. Don't ape in because I was talking about or showing it. I most likely will sell 1 or 2 of these in the short term, and eventually 3. I'm not. Could this company execute on all their plans and become another known brand? Could they become the next Good Vibe Club? It's possible. It's in range. I don't think it's likely. It's no offense towards the team. It's very challenging, and you got to do a lot of things right. And this isn't one where I did a ton of research and had the team on and talked to them. But if it's still trending up, we may have them on next week and talk about, see what they're doing and play some Tamagotchi. But we will see. A couple things relative to the NFT space, and then we'll do. Actually, you know what? Let's do this. We'll do a quick market update, and then on the other side of the market update, I want to talk about Yuga is launching. Speaking of floors and NFT trading, they're launching its own bot, a Bored Ape Yacht Club bot, that the goal is to benefit the club instead of snipers. This is also another example of Figgy moving in real time, having a pulse in the space. I saw someone sent out a post and said, people say bots provide liquidity, but they don't. And they showed a space ape. This was just a bot just bought this from bids for like for 10 ETH. And then, within the day, a collector collected it for 13 ETH. And that collector is providing liquidity. The bot is extracting liquidity. And so we'll get into like how they plan to do that. But in addition to launch, and again, so Figgy said, respond like, yeah, we're on it. We're going to launch something soon. They also just announced a focus on Asia. Vera the Ape is going to be heading up a Bored Ape Yacht Club Asia. I'll pull it up and see exactly what they're calling it. But and then I do want to talk about the MegaETH pivot, sunsetting their points program, what they're moving towards, and more. If there's anything else on your mind today, anything we haven't hit on yet other than music, or anything you're looking forward to the rest of the day today or over the weekend, let me know in the chat, or feel free to throw a request in to come up on stage and share. But Be Epic, greatly appreciate the tip over there. That Pingu is very much appreciated, and it adds up very much. GM as well to Jolly Elf and Kiss999 and True Crypto King and Mike. The Abstract, we're back on Abstract. It's they won my heart back since they actually gave me some XP this past week. Still don't know how it happened, but I will take it. I've seen Near's been pumping. Is that you want to talk about Nearphonics? I saw you drop that in the in the chat. I'm familiar with Near. I don't know much about it, but it's been running here recently along like the whole Zcash and Monero and the AI stuff that's moving. But let's do this. Well, speaking of that, we'll do and I did pin up top the Bitcoin Pizza Day. If you're looking for Bitcoin Pizza, anyway, we had Snacks on yesterday. Snacks and Saucy, appreciate you joining us. The Pizza DAO to find your local pizza party, globalpizza.party. That's pinned up top. If you want to go get some free pizza today and hang out with some cool people, go check that out. It's pinned at the very top there. Don't go anywhere. This is the Daily Market Update. We'll be right back with breakdown on today's action on NFTs and your top 10 tokens.
Coffee brewing. Yeah, the market's in play. Charts on the screen. What the numbers gonna say? We got offer in the cup every single day. Coffee with Captain. Market Update on the way.
Alrighty, starting with the top 10 cryptocurrencies, we have I guess a green day. We're going to call it a green day. Everything's green, so it's a green day. Not by a ton, but as of now, everything's green across the board. Bitcoin's up 0.39% to 77. ETH up 0.88%. We should talk a little about ETH and the bottom signals we've gotten from the Bankless Bros dumping all their actually only one of the two Bankless Bros dumped all their ETH, and the other one is like leaving the show. Ansem and Banks saying they would never touch ETH. A lot of bottom signals here as of late. So maybe they're right, but I enjoy counter trading CT consensus, and I think ETH might be in that realm. BNB up 1.68%, XRP 0.07. It's like it's a green day, but the green is like barely beating out like the 0.01% gain for USDC. Solana up 2% at 87, Tron up 2.23%, Doge up 1.6%, and my favorite Hyperliquid up another 4%, the big winner on the day, up 4.64%, now 40% on the week, and it's up over $60, $60.91. Seems like yesterday it was $39. Hope some others got in on that Hyper. I wish I had opened up a long. Too many times. I got some Hyperliquid stack, but I don't have nearly as big a bag as I would like. And when I feel it in my bones, like I did at 39, or when I felt NFT bottom was in early April, I should make some smaller bets just so I can feel, just so I can book a win. Like for instance, this is not a knock on Doodles, but I saw when I knew the team had a bunch of unlocks coming, and I saw Austin's post about they sent them a legal notice and they were not going to give them their tokens. It just seemed like such an obvious opportunity to short dude at the time. Not wishing them any ill will. It's just you got a bunch of sellers more, and I don't know if there's enough buyers to offset that sell pressure from the team and founders and investors all getting tokens unlocked. And I think I'm up like 60, 70% on that short. And it wasn't a big dollar amount by any means, but it's like I want to get my reps back in. I don't think it's a sell and may and go away. I think it could be an exciting summer. Bitcoin, ETH, majors may chop, but I think there's going to be opportunities in pockets, and I perform better when I'm locked in and looking at charts, looking at data on a daily basis. It's just like I was talking about yesterday, when I was playing, nosebleed stakes in the NBA DFS street. And I did take a day off. You couldn't, because you take one day off and there could be a big rotation change, and that could change everything on the slate. Just like even if you slow down dial back your volume, just being dialed in and having a pulse on things is it's how I perform better. And so it's kind of the mode I'm in, is I want to be, even if it's smaller dollar amounts or maybe even paper trading, although I do enough paper trading just talking on the show. I know for a while there I had a little bit like one trade a day, and I think I did it like 4 or 5 days and then just got busy and forgot about it. Maybe that's something I bring back, is force myself to do one trade per day, whether it's buy something spot, whether it's buy an NFT, whether it's open a long or short. Just keep clicking buttons so that I don't I don't want a week to go by where I've not done anything. I just, if things do pop off this summer, I think much better position to take advantage of that and capitalize on it if you're locked in, if you're not like be cheesy like the kids say, but if you're in the trenches and you're paying attention, you're much more likely to find something than if you're just on the sidelines and saying, "Oh, I'm just gonna be stabled up right now, and I'll start participating in 6 months." Nothing wrong with that. You don't have to be buying or trading every day, but just telegraphing how I'm going to be playing the next few months. Looking at NFTs, the Shellmates leading the way in volume. 67 ETH have been traded since the mint out. Now again sitting at 0.02. 10,000 tokens down bad. I think it peaked at like 0.15. This is, if you missed it, the 10,000 tokens came from the team at Punk Strategy and TokenWorks. And the whole idea here is there was 10,000 NFTs. They launched a meme coin launchpad. But to launch a meme, you had to burn an NFT. So there would never be more than 10,000 meme coins launched from their launchpad. But there's how it works, similar to their token strategy. When it launches, it starts with a 99% tax, a 50K market cap, and most that have been launched are getting zero volume. Like there's no volume at all. And so the whole flywheel idea, the whole idea that like, oh, holders of the NFT are going to make a percentage of these fees from token trading, there's just simply no token trading going on. The collection is down to 9,887. So that there's been approximately 113 tokens launched, 113 of them, NFTs burnt to launch a token. And yeah, just I like the experimentation. I like the approach. I like using NFTs and baking in this sort of utility and the rev share. Like it's all interesting to me. I'm all the way out on meme coins. I think it ran its course. I'm not saying all meme coins go to zero. That's not what I'm saying. But I have zero expectations, even in a bull, that we start getting 50 million or 100 million runner on a weekly basis, let alone a daily basis. Like I don't see the activity there. I don't see who the new buyer is. I think a lot of people who did came in got burnt. Shout out to Frankie's Diner, by the way. I just saw that. Mwahaha team. We had him on the show a while back. 0.078. I think that's up a little bit. Congrats on that, if so. But back to the other updates here. Axie pumping on volume, Axie consumables. So while many think that thing came and went, it's still very much a thing. Drop Dead Gorge 0.04 up 11% of the day. Mutants down 3% to 1.49. Normies down 4%, but still 0.37 ETH. One of the big winners of 2026. Persona 0.04. Milady's 1.26. That's up 5%. MFers down 14%. Wonder what led to that sell off. 0.21 ETH. Azuki up 1% to 0.94. Not sure what Heraldia is. Abnormal MFers, that's one that led to some tie into their animated series. They're up 41% to 0.01. And Little Pudgy's down a couple percent. Just scrolling down. Florentine's down 5%, but still 0.07. Slonks 1.04. Quirky's 1.06. Moonbird's 0.77. Bad Bun. This is good segue into the next topic here. Is Bad Bun's down 20% on the day, 0.07 ETH, and unfortunately, most of the MegaETH NFT community took a pretty big bath yesterday. I'm trying to see. Yeah, here I want to sort by chain. Bad Bun's down 19%. Netizens down 33%. That's one I hold. Nachi Cartel down flat at 0.06. Certainly showing those three on the trending page, but they pretty much across the board on MegaETH got nerfed on the change, the pivot. So let's actually 924. Let me do this. Let me talk about what Yuga is doing with the bot, and then we'll move into MegaETH and their update, and we'll let that take us home. So this is what I mentioned. Del Bracco highlighted how a space ape got weathed into a bot before actually being flipped to an actual collector, resulted in a $7,800 profit for the bot instead of an actual collector getting a deal or the ape ecosystem benefiting from the sale. This fire, I'm not the biggest fan of zombies or zombie apes, but for those that are, it's a fire ape, clean zombie with the space ape. Love to see it. So this was the actual tweet. It said, People calling bots liquidity providers. This ape was bought for 10.06, flipped for 13.75. Collector equals liquidity provider, bot equals liquidity extractor. When will projects start protecting their collectors? Would love to see a bot run by Grails OTC. To which then Yuga is on it. Quote tweets that, says, we'll build and ship this by next week. I don't think he's sleeping, man. Like I have been, yeah, I do own a Mimu. A couple of them were actually gifted to me, to be fully transparent. But yeah, I do own a few Mimus. Guys locked in. Not just like they have other big initiatives they're working on, by the way. Like we know Ape Fest is probably going to get announced soon. We know they're building out the clubhouse. Oh, by the way, Other Side is a massive undertaking. And we're seeing something like this. Maybe it's not been every week, but if Figgy's had the reins for 6 weeks, I think we've seen at least 6 things that have been suggestions or requests from the community that they've shipped. The peer-to-peer marketplace, like people are loving that. And this is the building in public vibes. It's hard, and not every idea from the community is going to be a great one. And you shouldn't move with every idea from the community. But so far, the ones he's ran with seem, from my perspective, seem to be good ones. And just the ear to the ground, I guess they did try Grails OTC, but I say Figgy wasn't even tagged in that. Just like the listening to the community, hearing the community, delivering things they want to see. In some case, like the peer-to-peer marketplace for apparel is an MVP. As James said, it's not fully baked out, but hey, let's get it out, let's get it live, and then let's iterate based on feedback. Machiavelli, or if anyone else out there had a chance to listen to at the clubhouse yesterday, I've not caught the recording yet, but it's on my list to take in today. If anyone did catch that, I'm just going to quote Figgy here. This was on the at the clubhouse, I believe. We got a suggestion that we needed a trading bot that benefits the club, and I think that's a really great idea. The idea there are certain things on trade basis that should not go straight to the floor. There should be people ready with a commensurate bid. There's a lot of people always talking to Grails about specific trades or combinations. So if we already know there's a buyer, then we feel more comfortable putting in offers the same way a bot would. And if there's a spread or margin to be made, then that's just stuff we can put back into the ecosystem. So it remains unclear exactly when this bidding bot is going to launch or precisely how it will function. However, we do know that Quit is already working on it, and that revenue generated from the system could act as kind of a royalty replacement for Bored Ape Yacht Club, ensuring the club can continue showing up each and every day. Shout out to Bored Ape Yacht too for so quickly turning around articles and news in the space at large, but in particular for the Bored Ape Yacht Club. So that is the MegaETH did pivot. I guess Joey had to jump onto a call, so he may miss this. But this is what we're gonna got a half hour here to talk about the MegaETH pivot, what they're doing, what's next, what it might mean for you. And I don't know all exactly what it means, but I'll do my best to summarize what I've seen on the timeline. And I mentioned Near too because I think this topic might take us to the home stretch here. So Near is down 95% from all-time highs. Outside of VVV, it's one of the top AI crypto protocols. Ansem had a whole thesis yesterday, probably a decent trade since VVV has run so much already, but I'd say it's mostly running because of Ansem. I'm quoting Phonics here. Finally starting to see random pockets of alts move. I think majors will remain stagnant while good alts continue to melt faces. There's some memes running here and there. Crocs finally got rich and left us. I'll check in with Crocs. We'll get the alpha from Crocs. Maybe we'll get Crocs a segment on the show to talk memes. But I do agree. I said this yesterday on the space that I hosted with Concordium. There's so many things that are, to me, it's reminiscent of 2021, where the summer of 2021, Bitcoin and ETH both had major pullbacks, like 40%. I think we're down now like 30%. They had major pullbacks, but during that pullback, NFTs were cooking. Not all of them, but there was a lot of opportunities to make serious money. And that's I know I'm an optimist. I know that I'm maybe considered a permabull, but I think there's actually some data to support this. And we're seeing it. I mean, you're seeing stuff run in pockets. You're seeing new mints pop off occasionally. And I just think that even if we get a summer of chop, if majors just stay stagnant and range bound, I still think there's a very real opportunity that we could see some AI tokens run. We could see some alts run. We could see some memes run. We could see some NFTs run. It's just you want to be ahead of it, right? You don't have to catch the exact bottom, but you also don't want to be buying it after something's ripped up 100%. It's partially what's kept me out of like the Zcash trade. Probably why I'm not going to buy near today. Let me just show you the chart so you can see what I'm looking at. And then I promise we will get into MegaETH for everyone who's interested. So on the month, near is up 62%. On the day, it's up 32%. So it went from $1.75 to $2.30. All time though, $17 looks like maybe made a peak, $17.50. They did announce major upgrades focused on privacy, AI integration, network scaling, including improved zero knowledge proofs for private transactions, new tooling for AI agents. So it was a sponsored show yesterday. It was a sponsored post. So take that all with a grain of salt. However, what and how Concordium is building really did resonate with me, especially after hearing the CEO. I pinned that interview up top. If you get a chance later, it's only like 40, actually going about an hour. But Boris, who's the CEO of Concordium, great speaker, got you pretty excited. And we talked a lot about privacy and AI. And I think, like, I get the whole privacy coin meta. I get the desire for privacy coins, but that's just like half the story. And that's where, other than a trade, like Zcash, Monero hasn't clicked for me, because I don't really think how I believe it's structured, my understanding of it anyways, is I don't see that ever getting like accepted, like adopted from a massive standpoint. I don't see any, like, I don't see how it could be regulation could come in and sign off. This is a compliant coin, because the reality is, like, for anything to go outside of our crypto bubble, it's got to be compliant with money laws, with banking laws, with money laundering laws. Like KYC is real. We may not like it, but you can't just have money moving in silence and secret, and it creates issues. So that piece, I've just never been able to connect that dot. It's like, oh yeah, it may be good for, the crypto purist criminals. I know I sound like a boomer, like back in the day, fucking Bitcoin, because it's only used for drug dealers and criminals. I'm not saying that's what Zcash and Monero is used for, but if that's going to be an ongoing objection, I would imagine, from the regulators, from administrations, from the institutions. I just don't see institutions going to be behind something like that. Now, Near's in a different bucket. In Concordium, what they're building, instead of just a privacy coin, they're building a privacy infrastructure. So it's not public who's doing stuff. You do need to verify, are not even your age, but are you 18? What region, what area are you a resident of? Like, that stuff matters. Like, it's as far as like compliance goes, that stuff's important. And they've built a infrastructure where you can prove that I'm over 18. I live in the US, I live in Florida. And that gives me access to age-gated stuff. That gets me access to geo-gated stuff without sharing my exact age, without sharing my exact identity, without sharing my exact location with the whole blockchain world at large, the internet at large. It's only, it's protected. And I think that infrastructure makes a lot of sense, more so than just a pure privacy play. And then taking it one step further, they're doing some pretty cool AI stuff and working with this Danish national hockey team that it's one I'm going to keep an eyes on. Full disclosure, I hold no Concordium yet. The sponsored engagement, our partners at Reach brought it to us, and but it's one the more I learn about it, I am genuinely. I don't have to talk about them today, so this is not a sponsored bit. I think if you're interested in privacy, if you're interested in AI, it's kind of the intersection of both, and it's one I think worth keeping an eye on. The thesis makes sense to me. Strong CEO, strong team, that makes sense to me. Does that guarantee they're going to win? No, it doesn't. But if privacy and AI are two metas, they're checking a lot of boxes there and doing some things that are structurally a little different than most. The handle is just at Concordium. Concordium.com is the site. And I'm not going to go too lengthy here because, like I said, we will have them on in the future. But you can see, verified humans, verified agents, one protocol. They got a lot of big partners. They just have a big partnership with Bitcoin.com and 80,000 wallets. Just some, again, verified identity, programmable compliance, but yet not. You can remain private while you're proving that you're of age, that where you live, et cetera, et cetera. This is that Danish national hockey team I was talking about. There's a whole thread on what they're building there, from agentic commerce to proof of fandom. Like we talked about the Cavs and the Pistons and their loyalty rewards program. Think about that, and then adding AI agentic commerce on top of it. Like really doing some cool technical stuff. They talk about 20,000 AI agents registered on chain, 0 linked to a verified human. Solving some of this stuff that you think about where we're at. The current meta is, well, how does this move forward? And I really do think they're building some interesting stuff. And I'm not saying go buy Concordium, but we're checking out. We're taking a listen, and yeah, if you want to help me out, go hit that space I pinned up top after the show and give it a listen. I'll wait for like an hour until I turn in our KPIs in terms of listeners. So yeah, do you're going to do me a solid, go listen to that space. Every listener helps. Greatly appreciate it. Thanks in advance. Truly, that wasn't shilling for that. I'm genuinely interested in both privacy and AI agents for sure. But here, let's wrap. We'll home stretch here, not wrap, but home stretch. Last topic of the day, unless I missed anything that anyone wants to talk about, is the MegaETH pivot. So this comes from Xiao, who's on Hotpot on the MegaETH team. I believe Hotpot's one of the co-founders. Said, I dislike the word points because it reduces thoughtful experiences into heartless numbers. Needless to say, I'm in deep regret right now. If there's a word I dislike even more, it's probably wallet. Like, what does wallet even mean anymore? An EOA wallet is very different from an embedded wallet, which is very different from a wallet as a service platform, not to mention smart account platforms and wallet connectivity protocols. Somewhere along the way, we started using a single word to describe increasingly complex stack. That's why I don't intend to make the same mistake, and will fight with X algo until the W word disappears. MOS, or M and then parentheses OSS, is a complex system of permissionless identity, security, liquidity, and application coordination, hiding behind a deceptively simple interface. It's an operating system designed to support smart app builders and end users to achieve their goals, whatever that means. And this was tweeting a picture of the image where MegaETH shuts down points program early, launches wallet SDK. MegaETH shuts down points program early, shifts to wallet tech. MegaETH ends terminal points program after 3 weeks. While they did end their points program, saying they're pivoting to a wallet is not fair to them. This complex system of permissions, identity, security, liquidity, and application coordination, not just blowing smoke, very similar to what I was just describing with what Concordium is building as well. So let's get back to the announcement though, and what MegaETH did when they what they announced yesterday with the sunsetting of their terminal. Terminal was like their campaign, their points program. I'll just share the feed as I find it. I'll follow along here. One wallet, every app, your rules, Moss, May 2026. Let me, it's 57 seconds. I'll play this and then we will. Pretty sweet commercial. My first question to all of you in the chat, is that AI? Was that a real, not that AI is not real, but did they produce that? Were those real humans, real film, or did they use AI to generate that commercial? I don't know the answer. I'm truly curious. My gut tells me it was probably AI, but it doesn't look like AI. I truly don't know. I'm curious if anyone, do you think that was AI, or was that a human beings being filmed in a coffee shop? It lands. I think the first character there that did the endless approvals and confirm, that is just not, that's not great. That's not going to scale. That's definitely not going to scale at retail. And then the kid trying to pay with his Apple Pay, didn't insufficient balance, didn't hit quite as, Apple Pay, let's keep it real, works pretty darn good. Apple Wallet works pretty darn good. Tap to Pay works pretty darn good. But to incorporate crypto into that, I think there is a big opportunity there. And that is essentially the focus. That's so Poet Babe says it's real. Maybe, great commercial, great ad. I think really well done. But this is the announcement yesterday from MegaETH. After reviewing the terminal data, again, terminals like their points program platform, we decided to conclude the season early and sunset our terminal program. The points distribution for week 3 has gone out as normal, and a snapshot has been taken of all user activity up to this point, which will be used in our final calculations. This isn't a decision did not come easy, but we believe this is what's best to support our ecosystem. Next week, we'll run a supplemental points distribution to thank all users who have been exploring and experimenting with different apps throughout the program. Eligible terminal participants will receive a share of rewards pool in USDM, so cash, not Mega Token, based on the points accumulated to date, as well as activity that supported Mega. Early next week, we'll open a place on Terminal for 1 week so you can designate a wallet to receive your rewards. Terminal's main features will be merged with the rabbit hole, transitioning everything into one unified chain experience. Thank you to everyone who supported us thus far. We can't wait to show you what we have in store. And then here's another note from Hot Pot. The existing financial system neither reflects the culture nor addresses the economic realities of this upcoming generation of financial participants. Our team, composed of emerging market citizens and perma-online Gen Zers, are here to build the financial operating system for the internet native generation. We spent the past 2 years building MegaEVM, the fastest execution environment in the industry. The MegaEVM withstood a 11 billion transaction stress test in mainnet production, averaging 40,000 TPS, while consistently charging lower fees than all competitors. Our technical milestones paved the way for collaboration with Chainlink to begin building the first real-time Oracle, providing unparalleled speed and security to the DeFi ecosystem. The past 2 years has seen a notable and eventful ecosystem growth through MegaETH. Today, some of the most interesting new applications sit on Mega. The points program on Terminal has allowed crypto native users to further explore the initial Mega ecosystem, but we believe it has run its course. We're providing boosted USDM rewards to all eligible participants in the program. Moving forward, we will double down on sourcing and accelerating the best applications on MegaETH through personalized GT go-to-market, targeting users beyond crypto. We are momentarily launching the Moss SDK, a self-custody wallet that unifies liquidity between applications while maintaining top-in-class security through smart approvals. These pieces lay the foundation for MOS, again, that's MOS in parentheses S, to become the financial OS built for users born to this generation. Live Q3 Mega blends finance and entertainment with primitives and risk preference that have never been available to everyday users. The MOS SDK is uniquely positioned to solve the embedded wallet, generalized wallet dilemma by giving best-in-class security guarantees to users across apps while still maintaining one unified account. MOS SDK builds on the foundational work of Porto by Ithaca, providing a user-first mentality to product. We look forward to working with applications to integrate MOS and provide users with a solution to the crypto UX problem. The legacy financial system merely adopted the internet. It was not born in it. MOS is being built by people who understand the culture of internet native users and how finance, entertainment, and identity are converging online. Seems like great. I think I get it. It's still like my suggestion is they need bread then to put this in like normie terms. It's not abundantly clear. And I know that Hotpot doesn't like want to call it a wallet, but it's not abundantly clear to me what MOS really even is, other than they say it a financial OS, but what does that mean? Well, I don't know. I read it as like a better wallet, like they're building a better wallet. And I know that's not, for the comments, that's not exactly what they're building. That's not fair, but it's just not. And maybe that's part of it. Like they don't want to share exactly what they're building. Don't want to get front run on some stuff. Very well could be. Simon, who we were quoting yesterday, and because I put up his post, it gave me the my zinger of the month with Simon Says. If you were here, if you know, you know. Simon Says, once again, big fan of this MegaETH announcement. Points programs like these mostly attract predatory airdrop farmers who neither care about the app they're using nor the underlying ecosystem. The entire game is about maximizing rewards with the least amount of effort possible so they can dump on day one and move on to the next farm. The customer acquisition costs compared to the actual user lifetime value are completely absurd. Any traditional CFO or CMO would probably get a heart attack looking at these numbers. But in crypto, we've normalized spending tokens like monopoly money because for many teams, that's exactly what they are. Not for the MegaETH team, though. They treat mega token holders like actual shareholders, recognizing the structural issues early and willing to pull the plug accordingly. At the end of the day, great products attract real users organically. If they don't, we're doomed anyway. I do applaud the quick move. It wasn't attracting what they desired with the points program. And I think part of it might be some of the apps were late to launch. Others, they maybe still haven't found that flagship DApp yet. And I think that's critically important. But yeah, if you're just basically if you recognize we mostly have just farmers, it's not helpful to the ecosystem. It's real dollars they'd be burning. And so I do applaud making the quick move. Currently trading, by the way, at 8.88088 cents. Let me actually double check this morning. That's where it was yesterday. It peaked, I want to say, at like 0.22. I think is when Steve sold it and grabbed his fluffle. GG, Steve. It is currently at 0.085. Down 7-8% on the day. Unlocked market cap's at 97 million. Just peak market cap was like 220 million. Fully diluted 859. I am here's an open letter. On the flip side, I want to be fair. I do hold, by the way, I don't know, less than 20,000 MegaETH tokens. But I also have some that are being invested for a year, so it's actually more than that. But we're talking like a few $1,000s, not hundreds of thousands of dollars. Jake had this to say: an open letter to the MegaETH team. Most of the app's NFTs yesterday were effed. Any long, mid, short-term plan to approach the ecosystem totally died. And this was just showing a post about someone who was reached out to Jake they were planning to launch something on MegaETH soon, wanted to see if they'd be interested in creating content or doing a giveaway. And they said, just kidding, we're we're going to be in wait and see mode. Again, I don't think it's that bad. Like, you know, the points program, the terminal wasn't working like you thought. You don't need to have pride or ego and say, oh, we're gonna do this anyways. Pull the plug sooner than later. And what's next? Like, I still think, you know, supporters, users will be rewarded. It's just not going to be the traditional points program. Also, if you think about airdrops in this space, where we came from to where we are today, it used to be users just got rewarded retroactively. You know, one of the first great airdrops I can remember was ENS. There was no points program. There was no farming. It's if you there was points that they didn't. It wasn't public. People weren't minting ENS domains just for that. But after the fact, you could do the calculation. But basically, if you minted ENS domains, if you held ENS domains, based on how many, based on the volume, you got an allocation of their token when they went to TGE, and they just airdropped it to you. That was the norm for most of these programs. Was hey, then the expectation became. I mean, Uniswap was a big one. That was, I think, the airdrop might have been before my time. You know, think of others like during the mania with like LooksRare, but LooksRare, I can't remember if there was a points program before, if there was a farm before that or not. But it used to be there was no farms. It was just, hey, we're in beta, and then when they come out of beta, they rewarded their users, like real users. But you weren't like accumulating points that people were just using the platform purely to get tokens to then dump. And I think what you get as a result of that is real users and people that are much more likely to keep the token, to use the token in the ecosystem than simply dump it. Most farmers, as mentioned in the earlier post, at TG, they're racing the exit. They're immediately dumping and then moving on to the next farm. It's just not great. So we went this from no farming, no points program to it's become such a norm that most that participate that are you're attracting those that's all they do. They're just pure farmers. They're there not because they want to use the platform or use the protocol. They just want to get as many points so they can get as much free internet money as possible. And that just doesn't work. You're just burning a lot of money. I don't know the answer. I don't know the best way to launch, but I do think it's maybe something along the lines or similar to how Beezy is doing it, where, by the way, we will do a coffee with Captain on Monday. It looks like the claw machine's working just fine, but the codes have been decommissioned for the time being. So no code today. Joey said to apologize to everyone and let everyone know we'll get caught up on Monday. So we got a few, including Eddie Crypto, if you're out there today. I didn't forget about you. We do owe a few coffee with captains, and that will that'll come Monday. But my point being is like Beezy has a points program. They've got a vault. I think there's going to be a TG someday. Are people farming Beezy just to get tokens someday when they drop? Maybe some. But even if there's never a TG, or if the TG is a letdown, your points are valuable today. You can use those points to pull a claw machine in the vault. Basically redeem your points instead of dollars to do claw pulls. That's fun. That's cool. They're rewarding real users and real loyalty. Some combination of the two, like a real loyalty rewards program, not just a points farm to lead to tokens, something like that. And what not to do is like Fantasy Top, where they launch a points program for a token drop someday, and then just never issue any rewards or do a token, just shut down. I have Tut's post pulled up here. What the F just happened? MegaETH is sunsetting their points program after just 3 weeks. TLDR, all campaign participants will get boosted USDM rewards. MegaETH is pivoting to a financial first OS built for users born to this generation, pivoting to apps that reflect the above point and work directly on go-to-market with them. This is no longer an L2 for all think base, and now a focused financial chain. That's his read. I don't know if it's purely a financial focused chain. I actually don't know as if a whole lot changes in terms of what MegaETH has been building, but how they're building it and how they're going to reward people is the bigger change here. Catching up with the chat. Holly says could use a few prayers. Thank you in advance. We got you, Holly. Sending my best. John Denver would be a good show. The next show, yeah, Captain says. Sorry, I was catching up some chat. Most are music and / concert related. Man, that Blues Traveler shows at Red Rocks on the 4th looks pretty epic. Great crowd, and not just any show. The guy is, I guess you go to 50 Blues Traveler shows, you get backstage treatment. This is on the stage at Red Rocks, looking out. I was going through my pictures earlier and couldn't find any great ones. It's just no pictures will do it justice. It's very hard to describe, but like this is looking up the amphitheater, up the mountains. You got rock walls on both sides of you. And on the other side of the stage where the crowd, the audience is looking at the stage, and then behind the stage is the city of Denver. And you see the Denver skyline. Really, really, really cool venue. Yeah, be epic. Lollapalooza. I've only stayed in a hotel. I don't know where else you'd stay in Lollapalooza. I don't know if there's necessarily camping downtown at Grant, unless you want to sleep with the homeless. I think your hotel is your option there. I was looking for any other MegaETH comments or thoughts, and everyone's still talking music. So I'm not going to apologize. You don't apologize either. I enjoyed the trip. Here is something actionable though, as it relates to MegaETH. If you're still there, whether you've got tokens vesting or you got a fluffle, those fluffles are, by the way, they were asking yesterday, Joey and Steve were asking, if you do have a fluffle, 50% of those tokens, you could claim that allocation at TGE. And then the rest is spread out over the next 6 months on the 30th of every month. So May 30th is the next claim. And I think you get like 8% of the remaining allocation. But yeah, you can just go to megaeth.com and you can claim your tokens on the 30th. Here, this is from Joe Star Crypto. I don't know Joe, but I'll give a follow here. Now that incentives are gone, here's a list of 5 MegaETH apps you should spend time on and why. Brix Money might become the next RWA giant. Think of it as Ondo for emerging markets. Blackhaven, this one will take some time to cook, but at some point the flywheel will kick in and you want to be there when it does. Reserve-powered liquidity engine accelerated by Mega Mafia. Hit.one, one of the best consumer apps since just the beginning. The vision is much bigger. Up to 1,000x leverage on real markets. Welcome to Arcade Finance. Euphoria, that's the tap trading, one tap trading. Might become the first consumer app to achieve worldwide adoption. These are very aspirational. I don't believe that to be true. It's fine. The app's fine. I don't think tap trading is going to really take off outside of our crypto native world. World markets, the next gen perp dex that allows you to create strategies that are impossible anywhere else. And just talking about the live ones, but also very excited about Use Rocket, redistribution markets built for real-time prediction on price feed. Dreaming, which is trade crypto and options in seconds. I'm not familiar with that one. Hello Trade, every market everywhere, access stocks, commodities, ETFs, and crypto globally with 10x leverage. Omen, get paid to trade sports, unlock up to 100 grand to trade your team. Sounds interesting. I'll check that out after the show. Tolpia, decentralized risk management built for real world finance, rebuilding neo-banking on MegaETH. And Orchid. What is Orchid? I don't know. I'm going to go double click Omnia. Sunsetting their points program. Whether these are the ones that are, you should check out or not, I don't know. What I do know is if you look at the recent L2s, L1 launches, just that list there, and there's a lot more than that, they actually have done a good job cultivating apps. I don't know if any have like smashed it. Like none have taken over the time. Like we were talking about Fantasy Top. None of these new apps have taken over the timeline or taken over CT like we saw Fantasy Top or I'm trying to think of some Hyperliquid, any of the ones that, Friendtech, I know SocialFi there, but I don't know if any have hit like that yet. Now there's some coming. Maybe one of them is that. Showdown, I see Beat Barry is hosting. It's like a TCG meets poker game. It was kind of fun. Very niche, but it was different. My point being is they really do have a lot of, in some cases, novel dApps. They have I think, without a hard count, I think more exclusive apps, at least ones that are today, anyways, only on MegaETH, than any chain launch that I can remember for probably since Blast, quite frankly. Like Monad, I still couldn't tell you what's unique to Monad. I don't know. There's a lot of these that are unique to MegaETH. Now, might they go multi-chain in the future? Yeah, they might. But this Omen that I was just talking about is, the one where unlock up to 100 grand to trade your team, get paid to trade sports. It's from a team behind Robinhood. Perps, prediction markets, and agents. Worth exploring some of this stuff. I think, especially when there's not a farm, when there's not a points program. If MegaETH makes it, and I think what makes it could be different depending on your goals or who you talk to. I think, they are a well-funded team. They're still here. Making moves like this, to me, shows that they're not just going to bleed out their treasury and do things that rewarding farmers, etc. So while it may not be as clear of a path to how do you get rewarded for utilizing MegaETH, those farmers, the mercenaries, if you will, they're gone. Like they're going to go elsewhere. If there's not a points program, if they don't know, if they can't see the direct farm, they're going to move on. They're going to look to the next farm. They're going to look to the next shiny toy. So I think my point is you got less competition, and explore it. If nothing resonates and nothing jives with you, just fine, go move on to the next thing. But if we're talking about pockets where you might find opportunities over the course of this, the next several months, over the course of this summer, I think there's still going to be MegaETH rewards. It's just they're going to be rewarding real users. So you might, instead of competing against, 10,000 farmers, you might be competing against 100 real users in some cases. And we've seen many times in this space that outsized rewards, especially when something really hits and finds you want to be early, you want to be using Hyperliquid before the airdrop. It's still fine to use after, but the ones who used it before the airdrop are the ones who got rewarded with 6-7 figures of Hyperliquid. I'm not saying there's going to be Hyperliquid on MegaETH, but if there is, you probably want to be at least exploring it. Be a beta tester now before the fact. Anyways, that's my thoughts. I don't know, like, constructively, the messaging wasn't crystal clear to me. I get it's a better wallet that you don't want to call a wallet. It's an OS. I don't know what that exactly means other than a better wallet. So better comms on that, I think, would be helpful. But I applaud the pulling the plug on a points program that wasn't delivering the desired results, making tough moves sooner rather than later. All that being said, it's Friday. It's graduation weekend. I'm sure there's others got kiddos graduating. So sending you all my best. And we will be back Monday morning, 8 a.m. Eastern time, like always. But between now and then, go touch some grass, go touch some sand, enjoy some time outside. Go draft some best ball drafts. Ooh, I'm going to leave you all with this. I actually do have something. We're not going to do it today, but I'm going to go grab the link to get things started. There is a Underdog where I do most of my best ball drafts, is having I can't find it now. Maybe we'll do it Monday. They're doing a basically it's like a bracket for the World Cup. And we can create a league, basically Coffee with Captain League, for like basically predicting the World Cup bracket. NHL bracket, NBA bracket. I want the soccer bracket. Not finding it now. Oh well. I will when I do find it. I wanted to do a Coffee with Captain League there. I don't know hardly anything about soccer, football, but I've been firing some best ball builds, and I'm definitely going to be following along the World Cup. I thought it'd be fun. Maybe we can have a it's one where like we can have our own community to where you're not competing against hundreds of thousands of other people. We can have our own little just coffee with Captain side contest, but yet you're also part of the bigger one. So someone here will win our community contest, and if you get a perfect bracket, you're going to be in the running for, I don't know, 6 figures, 7 figures, whatever they have top prize for the entire thing, which is, again, you're competing against hundreds of thousands of people. Very hard to win those. But in a kind of best of both worlds, we're going to have a smaller, fun community group. And if you do hit the perfect bracket, you're going to win some big prizes. All that being said, go spend all weekend researching the World Cup and who you want to. I'm kidding. Go out there, have some fun, enjoy the time with your family, and appreciate everyone who added the conversation today, whether on stage or in the chat. Jolly Elf asks, what time today is? Oh, that's a good question. That Lambo Land, the Prism cash drop is today. I don't know what time. I do not know what time that is taking place. And yeah, Blast kind of transitioned to a wallet, but that was such a low effort joke of it's just like these two things are not the same. Like what Blast did with their wallet and what MegaETH is doing is just very they will not be the same. I mean, the outcome might be the same. It's possible, but Blast was a joke, like a throwaway, low effort. We're going to do this so we can move on, and I do not get that read from MegaETH at all. But fair point. Yeah, enjoy your weekends. We'll be back Monday morning at 8 as always. Hope everyone has a wonderful, wonderful weekend.